Helsinki developed rapidly at the turn of the 19th and 20th centuries, industrializing, modernizing, and reshaping itself with every passing year. The desire to break away from Russia and form an independent society with its own identity left a powerful imprint on the evolving cityscape. In this third Helsinki-themed episode, we once again explore old photographs and, with the help of artificial intelligence, transform them into incredible moving images. Welcome. Let's step together into the Helsinki of the past. A warm evening glow settles over the quiet parlor as three women gather around a lace-draped table, their faces softened by the lamp's gentle light. Coffee cups rise lightly from their saucers as conversation flows in calm, thoughtful tones. Patterns, shadows, and warmth wrap the room in stillness, holding a tender moment where time slows and every breath feels softly shared. Outside, the night deepens. A gentle silence embraces the house, as if listening to them. At Elintarhantie stands the Hedvig Sofia sick house, a quiet monument to the decades when healing was slow, deliberate, and deeply human. Its pale stone walls once sheltered the fragile and the hopeful, echoing with footsteps, whispered prayers, and the careful work of those who served inside. As the camera moves forward along the worn path, two women appear ahead. With each step closer, their features grow clearer, shaped by long hours, discipline, and a quiet resolve. The courtyard air feels cool, touched by the scent of earth and the faint rustle of nearby trees. On Senatintori, a vast crowd gathers beneath the pale sky, waiting for the unveiling of Alexander II. Officials and soldiers hold their places as the air fills with quiet tension. When the veil is lifted, the bronze figure emerges, calm and commanding. A wave of cheers rolls across the square, echoing against the cathedral as the city witnesses a defining moment. The northern light drifts over the crowd, casting soft shadows and giving the historic square a quiet sense of awe. Truly remarkable. Captured by Daniel Nyblin, the portrait shows a woman known only as Sibelius, her first name lost to time. Soft light rests on her face, revealing beauty touched by quiet sorrow. Her eyes seem to search beyond the frame, holding a story no record preserved. She sits in stillness, wrapped in mystery, a life reduced to a single image. Yet in this fragile moment, she asks only to be remembered and not forgotten again. In a dim, quiet room, artist Amélie Lundahl studies the day's newspapers. By the soft glow of a lamp, light settles on her thoughtful face, on lace, ink, and scattered papers. Around her, painted screens and portraits keep silent watch, framing her world of ideas. She lifts a hand to her chin, lost in reflection. In this still moment, surrounded by her art, Amélie observes life with calm curiosity. A quiet breath of inspiration lingers in the air. In early 1900s Helsinki, a group gathers around a new motor bus undergoing trials. Engineers and crew inspect its wheels, engine, and frame, while passengers wait behind the windows with quiet curiosity. Today they test whether this model can manage the demands of a city route. If it succeeds, it may soon carry people through Helsinki's growing streets. The test marks a step toward shaping reliable public transport for the city's future. It reveals hopes for smoother travel in the years ahead. This quiet corner of Tuomarinkila lies on the old manor grounds, though the main building, once raised by a distinguished Swedish officer, is out of view. Here stand the working yards, modest houses, worn fences, and fields stretching beyond. Smoke rises gently from a chimney as a lone man rests among tools. In this stillness, the land keeps the memory of the manor's past, its daily labor, and the centuries that shaped it. At Katu 19, the Holm family pauses for an afternoon tea break in their quiet courtyard. Sunlight warms the wooden walls as the adults sit together in a thoughtful moment, cups in hand, their expressions calm and reflective. Children linger nearby on the rocks, their play softened by distance. For a brief time, the day slows, and the family shares a gentle stillness that belongs only to them. It feels like a small pause held safely within ordinary life, a moment they will quietly remember. Here stands Gian Sibelius, the world-famous composer whose music shaped the identity of a nation. Photographed by Daniel Nyblin, he appears in a rare moment of stillness, eyes steady, posture firm, every detail hinting at the depth behind his silence. In this portrait, the restless mind that carved symphonies from the northern landscape settles into a quiet gaze. The textures of his coat, the tension in his brow, the faint weariness at the edges of his expression, all speak of a life spent wrestling with creation itself. An afternoon unfolds along the busy street as a horse-drawn tram moves through soft light. Trees sway gently, their shadows shifting across the cobblestones. People walk beneath the awnings, pausing briefly before continuing on. Sunlight glimmers across the scene, giving each movement a gentle warmth that lingers in the air, holding the quiet pulse of it. A calm sense of progress drifts quietly through the moment. Outside the historic Kaivohon restaurant, built in the mid-1800s, a group of young adults enjoys the brightness of the afternoon. Their chairs scrape lightly against the sand as laughter drifts through the open air. Hats tilt, smiles appear, and the spring sunlight traces warm outlines around them. Behind them, the grand glass facade rises quietly, holding the echoes of decades past. In this moment, the world feels open, effortless, an age suspended between youth, friendship, and the gentle rhythm of a Helsinki afternoon. In the heart of Helsinki, the crowd gathers for a moment long anticipated. The fountain roars to life, and the new statue, Havis Amanda, rises above the water, bronze gleaming in the bright afternoon. People press in close, eager to see her for the first time. Behind them, a tram rolls steadily along the boulevard, its windows flickering with reflections of the celebration. For a brief moment, the city pauses, united in wonder at its newest symbol. At the far end of the esplanade, the Swedish theater rises in quiet majesty, its walls still new, its promise unbroken. Horse carriages pass steadily across the cobblestones, their sound echoing in the open square. Yet the moment holds a fragile weight. Only 3 years after its completion, the theater would be destroyed by fire in 1863. But here, in this brief calm before history's turn, it stands unshaken, ready to be reborn. Alfhild Hamberg, a gifted young opera singer, poses with a quiet grace beneath her parasol. She carries herself like one of the earliest media stars, confident yet touched by fragility. Light settles softly on her face, revealing both promise and a distant sadness. Her life, like an unfinished aria, ended far too soon. What remains in this portrait is a fleeting moment, beautiful, delicate, and echoing with the silence of a future she never reached. Before the National Theater, the air stirs with anticipation. People gather in clusters, their voices weaving a soft hum across the square. Hats tilt, coats rustle, and sunlight dances over cobblestones as friends exchange glances and quiet laughter. Two ladies at the front whisper to one another, then smile toward us, sharing a moment of excitement. All around them, Helsinki waits, alive, expectant, for the curtain to rise. In this brief pause, the city feels suspended between ordinary life and the promise of something unforgettable. At Vanhan Kaupunginkoski, the rapids carry more than water. They carry the weight of Helsinki's beginnings. It was very near here the city was first founded, and where industry later rose, powered by the force of this river. Today, people gather at the edge, watching the ice loosen its grip and drift downstream, witnessing the quiet cycle of nature in a place shaped by centuries of human history. A cold autumn morning settles over the market square as the yearly herring fair begins. Highlanders and fishermen gather from across the waters, unloading their catch and offering tools, textiles, and other goods. Barrels thud against the planks, voices mingle in the crisp air. Sunlight slips through the rigging, catching on damp nets and rising breath. Here, in the rhythm of trade, Helsinki awakens, its harbor alive with purpose as winter quietly approaches. During the closing ceremonies of the estate's diet, two officials arrive and walk toward the entrance, where a doorman greets them with calm formality. Nearby, horses grow restless, their drivers steadying them with practiced ease. Sunlight glints on stone and harness, dust rising softly from the cobblestones. The cameraman watches carefully, sensing the weight of tradition in every movement. The moment feels historic. Again. In the quiet corner of the theater, between rehearsals and fading stage lights, two young actors lean together over a freshly opened letter. Whatever news it carries, it softens their faces, lifting them into a gentle, shared smile. In this small moment, away from scripts, roles, and expectations, they aren't performers, but friends, warmed by a message that brightens their day. And for a breath of time, the whole theater seems to glow with them. Sunlight drifts through the unseen ceiling windows of the house of the estates, casting slow-moving rays across marble columns and gilded railings. As the camera glides forward, each step reveals shifting reflections, warm glints on stone, soft lens flares shimmering in the quiet air. In this stillness, the staircase holds its history with silent dignity, a place where decisions once shaped Finland's path. So, we reached the end of our journey. Thank you for staying with us until the final frame. Through these photographs and moving scenes, we've walked the streets, markets, theaters, and grand halls that shaped Helsinki into the city we know today. Its spirit carried forward by the people who lived, dreamed, and built during that remarkable era. If you enjoyed this glimpse into the past, stay tuned for more stories and moments brought back to life. Feel free to leave a comment and share what you'd like to see next. Until then, thank you for watching, and welcome always to return